Welcome to Limeade 3.0. I'm your host, Apache Smash. I never thought we'd have to do this again. I hoped we wouldn't have to do this again, but we are doing it again. Limeade 3.0, we're benefiting Underwater Smoking, our good friend. We've got 2 days of fantastic runs. I'll be your host for the next 5 hours. We're starting off big. We've got JosephJoestar316 running Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance, and he's playing on European Extreme.
Hello, hello everybody. Sup Apache, thanks for introducing me, and thank you to D-Limes and Lime City for running Limeade 3.0. I'm JosephJoestar316. Thank you all for tuning in today. Like Apache said, I will be running on European Extreme on PC, which I will get this set up as I'm talking here. So I'm going to have radar disabled and not game over if discovered for the game over condition. And time will start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And here we go.
Good luck, Joe.
Hey, thanks, man. All right, so MGS2 on PC. It's a ported version of the game, which originally came from Xbox, which then came from PS2. Long story short, the PC version is a mess, which thankfully, thanks to VSfix, which is a, modded version of the game, which allows us to play the game without all of its problems, including one of the things I'm using now, which is the turbo function, which you will probably hear this a lot, along with the text that you see in the lower right corner, which is indicating that turbo is enabled or disabled. It just allows us to have faster inputs on the face buttons, which I have it set to, so I can skip through cutscenes a lot faster. One of the other things, too, is that the PC version doesn't have any loads, which don't get figured into the running timer that you also see at the upper left corner of the screen. So the PC version is one of the versions of the game where you don't have to worry about loads impacting your time. So it's often referred to as one of the fastest, if not perhaps one of the most fair versions of the game to run, since you don't have to worry about loads impacting it at all. Alright, so our first obstacle is going to be up against Olga. On European Extreme, it's a one-shot kill if I get hit by her, which also has its first element of RNG, whether if I get a left or right side spawn, which I got a left, and even though I missed the first shot, I also got the Olga loop, which is where the AI gets stuck trying to reload the weapon, and then crouching down briefly and then standing up again. Alright, so that was a little bit of a messy Olga loop, but still an Olga loop nonetheless. One of the things I don't think I talked about yet when it comes to European Extreme is, well, what is European Extreme? It's a higher version difficulty of the game above Extreme, where things change, like, there are no rations in the game. I mean, there are just 0 rations at all. You can try to find them, but you won't. You get 3 gunshots from guards until you are dead instead of 4. They see slightly farther away than on Extreme. Okay, maybe not that guy. But you could use your USP to your advantage here. To just create distractions so you can just get through here a little bit easier, without having to, deal with them directly. Even just shooting the radio will do the trick. Alright, so the engine room is probably one of the trickiest areas of the tanker itself, so I'm just going to take this very carefully. Gonna trink that guy first, roll into them. When you fire a single trink round and then roll into a guard, it'll accelerate the knockout effect from the trink. which is going to be used quite often. Oh, he may have got me, but I got his radio. So I'm doing this for two reasons. One, to stop the alert, and two, it's going to cancel out a cutscene of a guard repairing the door, and just say, little brief cutscene, skip, that I would have to cancel out. And then while they're trying to figure out what the heck is going on in the engine room, I'm just gonna shoot the sensors to the Semtex and just be on my way.
Verrazano Bridge checkpoint passed. All non-essential personnel report to the holds in 10 minutes time for the scheduled briefing session with the Commandant. You are ordered to continue.
You know what they forgot to say over that PA was, you know, they should have been reporting in to watch the Limeway 3.0 stream. Alright, so what I did there with the first guard is I interrupted his patrol by just firing 2 rounds at the USP very specifically, while following up with a holdup with the M9, which is a delayed buffer to not only knock him out, but so that I don't have to stop running. Shoutouts to Platonic Guy for teaching me how to do that. Okay, so guard rush. I'm gonna use the USP to stun lock the first guard while trying to trach the other 2, which fortunately I didn't get. Including this guy on the right, which is often the random variable in this whole thing where he could just choose to blind fire or just lean out and shoot. Okay, so it looks like he's the last one left. And then we got 3 left here, so I'm going to use the USP to shoot out the last 3 instead of using the M9. Because killing them, in quotes here, killing them will acknowledge them that they are out of the encounter faster before their deaths are tallied. Which is faster than tranking them so that you don't have to watch them knock down and, you know, despawn. Okay, I was actually just focusing on that ladder camera glitch there for a moment. So the ladder camera glitch is where you enter the ladder while having the camera equipped at the same time, which is something you're not normally supposed to be able to do. You know, because the camera puts you in first person and, you know, the game doesn't know where to place you when you're in first person while climbing the ladder. You know, so through a series of inputs, we can just, you know, control the brief out of bounds experience and place ourselves back in bounds while continuing the rest of the game. Alright, so you may not have caught it, but I did in fact take a snap pic of the Marines logo. We're just gonna have Otacon verify it. See? What did I tell you? Clear as day. So, because I'm running this game on a widescreen format, apart from the original 4x3 that the game was built on, if you stand in certain positions of the room and hold 3, you can take the Marines logo without actually having to visually see it during that 2-spot picture I was doing. There's a alternate method as well, which is the 3-spot picture, which is just a slightly different variation, but it gives you the same result where you take the picture of the logo without actually having to be in front of it.
Do you mind if I jump in here, Joe?
Absolutely, man.
I got a like ton of stuff to read out, so I'll just try and get through it as quickly as I possibly can. D-Lime's donated $50 at the start of the marathon. Thank you so much. Carrick's donated $100 with no comment. Thank you so much. And Beswick donated $20 with no comment. Thanks so much, guys. Someone give me a comment to read out. But thank you so much for the support. Exclamation point donate if you want to learn how to donate. Also, all the subs and bits and things like that are also going towards the fund, which is benefiting Underwater Smoking. So Iroquois Pliskin resubscribed with tier 1 for 3 months. Inetti subscribed with Prime. Modvex subscribed with Prime. Little Bot subscribed for 2 months. And I think I'm caught up. I think I'm caught up. Thank you so much, Joe. Punch a guy in the nuts for me, please.
Oh, with pleasure.
Secure the perimeter.
All right, so
Who's there?
I'm just gonna knock that guy out the corner to lure the other one away from the elevator. Knock on this container to distract the other guard. And then just make our way up the lift.
Enemy in the air.
Alright, so we're beginning the plant section of the run. We finished up the tanker, now taking control is Raiden. So from here until Strut C, we're just going through the rudimentary, tutorials of, how to use cover, how to distract guards, how to log into the nerds. I'm sorry, the nodes. My mistake. It's easy to mix up. As well as using hanging mode. All things that I won't exactly be doing. Alright, so
Thanks for telling us, Colonel. I'll never do that again.
Knock into that guy. And cartwheel into the next room. Alright, so if there's any other stuff you want to get caught up on, this would be a great time, because we're just basically going from place to place until we get to bomb defusal.
Come on, Joe, I just read it all. I got nothing to read out at the moment. But, it's good to be here, isn't it, Joe? Like, it sucks that we have to do these, but at the same time, like, it's so fun when we do them.
Yeah. It was just joking before we started that I was kind of in one of those, moments where it was like, oh, wait, was it noon Eastern? Was it noon my time? And then I realized I had time when I woke up this morning, so I kind of went back down, and then I woke up again, and it's like, oh my god, I got 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's like, it's like all those times that I didn't show up for something and you covered me. So I was like, well, I gotta cover Joe if he doesn't come up. You're like, you've always done that for me. But I definitely want to give a shout out to Iroquois Pliskin for all of the graphics, the trailers, like everything he's done for the event today. Appreciate you, mate.
Yeah, it was really neat stuff for this event. Alright, so we finally met up with Stillman, and funny that you mentioned Pliskin, because we actually just ran into a guy named Pliskin who looks, sounds, moves, and kind of acts like Snake, but I'm sure it's not really him.
Yeah, I have to do this a lot in speedruns of this game when I talk about like someone who runs the game or someone who's involved in the community who has the same name. I'm like, yeah, Iroquois Pliskin, not the one from the game, the one in real life.
Exactly. Oh man. So we got the SOCOM, we got the coolant spray, and we got a bunch of bombs we gotta defuse, and that way we can actually defend ourselves. Even though we're not gonna exactly do that here with the SOCOM, we're just gonna knock them into the ocean.
Was there a noise just now?
What's going on? Respond.
And you might be thinking, well, wait a minute, you're doing big boss strats, and you just killed that guy, knocking him into the water. Well, the game doesn't see it that way. Gravity killed him. Okay, we're gonna do another hold up. Knock him in the groin, so I get the instant KO. Alternatively, you could do a rolling hold up on that guard, where you hold up, cartwheel, and then it will make him face away while you defuse the bomb. I just prefer the hold up into a groin punch.
Freeze.
Including that guy who I always have problems with during my run. I don't know what it is about him. His hitbox is just an anomaly over any of the other guards in the game. So what I'm doing here is defusing that bomb while specifically standing at the right spot, so that way I don't have to shimmy all the way around to defuse it with the coolant spray.
Who is that?
Who is that? It's the enemy. Well, and a few words. Alright, so we're gonna shoot the Cypher there, shoot his radio very carefully that I don't accidentally shoot him like I did yesterday for those that watch me do attempts of this. So I'm gonna throw a chaff as soon as I run into Strut F. I'm gonna take a calculated hit as I throw that chaff. I'm gonna go into hanging mode, drop down here so I can defuse this bomb. I actually did this yesterday too, where I was too far away to actually defuse it. It's kind of a running joke where I always seem to have problems in here. All right.
A lot of people have problems in here. It's Strut F, it's really hard.
Yeah, it's Strut F and Strut D that are always just out to get me. I don't know what it is, but I just dread going into both of these places. So I picked up that Claymore mine at the beginning of the EF connecting bridge so I could just have ease of access for the rest of the run. And while we wait for the box that has the bomb on it to move around, we're just gonna do some preliminary setup by knocking out guards, shooting out cameras. We're gonna say hello to Mo while knocking him out. Shoot that last camera. Put the coolant spray while I pick up my second set of stuns, the first set I got in Strut F. And then defuse that bomb. The bomb is on the outside of the container. Because of the way the boxes are set up with the coolant spray hitbox, you can actually just spray right through it. You know, so it doesn't make it look like I, sprayed it while the bomb was inside of it or anything.
Do you mind if I jump in here real quick, Joe?
Yeah, this is actually an area I need to focus. But go ahead.
So Solid Tony donated $10. This donation is for everyone this marathon to PB or get world record, and of course Underwater Smoking, the legend in the bacon, and all the friends I made. Love y'all, crush the run, Joe. And Shino donated $100. Shino loves her cousin Underwater Smoking and wishes to help. That's extremely cute. Back to you, Joe.
Yeah, thank God I got to that heliport because that area is very unforgiving when you make mistakes, just like a lot of the other areas of the game. Where you're running on a patrol timer and any little mistakes you make, you're gonna get spotted by somebody.
What's going on? Respond.
Who is that? Who's there?
Which, funny enough, we're gonna be using the box for quite a bit of this run as well, which, not for what you might think, but anytime you get discovered by a guard and you equip the box briefly, it breaks their line of sight, where they don't do the auto fire, scripted attack where if they spot you, they just shoot at you first and then they retreat and try to use the radio to call for backup and call in the alert.
Nothing here. I got him.
All right, so getting to this side of Strut D is also very critical because you're trying to beat this guy's patrol where you won't get seen while trying to drop down right in front of him.
What's going on? Respond.
Now, because I'm running this on New Game Plus, the bombs in Strut D are placed closer together in the middle, as you can see. Normally, the last bomb in Strut D is on the other side of Strut D, on the lower level where I started, which is New Game Plus Plus, or New Game Plus 2, I guess if you want to call it that. But it's one of the varying differences of running this game on New Game Plus 1, New Game Plus 2, as well as a different mechanic with aims, which I'll explain to that when we get there. Whoa! Hello, coolant spray.
Who is that? It's the enemy.
Alright, well, because I was late, that guy was in a different spot than where you would normally be when I get spotted, but when in doubt, know your backups.
Pro tip, never be late.
Yes, that too. Alright, so finally regrouped at strut C to pick up the sensor B, as well as defusing the final bomb, which is going to trigger the actual final bomb, because all the other little bombs were basically a decoy. You know, it was the trap within the trap. So now we gotta race down to Strut A docks where Raiden started. We have 200 seconds to get that done. I know, it sounds very scary. I mean, actually, when I played this game casually, 200 seconds sounded like I had no chance. You know, but thankfully it's a breeze to get back here, including meeting this guy again.
Who is that? It's...
I assure you that is still not a kill, just like the last time I accidentally bumped into him and knocked him into the water.
That guy's just a professional diver.
I mean, he keeps coming back. So, I mean, I gotta be doing something right. And then we're just gonna briefly say goodbye to Stillman.
Whatever.
Yep, rip Stillman. Alright, so thankfully we know where the final bomb is down here. It's in the same place every time, so we can just go right here and defuse it from far away, because the sensor B bombs are different from the other ones, because not only does the sensor pick them up by sound rather than by the visual on the radar screen, but they also have a proximity range where if you get too close to it, they will detonate automatically. And now we enjoy some fortune while using the box, so that way I won't die from the railgun. Now, unfortunately, fortune on European Extreme can't really be done any faster just due to the way the fight's scripted. Very easy, there's things you can do to speed it up, or rather just not lose time to it, but this is the most I can do. Oh yeah, go ahead, Apache.
I was just saying that boxes are quite good.
I mean, it's an essential thing. I wouldn't leave home without it. Also, shoutouts to Zoda Vendors.
Huge game.
Alright, that should be the end of it right there, and I'm just gonna wait for her to shoot the last of the two yellow barrels in there. And now I'm ending the fight with the coolant spray equipped, which is a menu thing you can do where, because I'm on previous, it's gonna equip the last thing that I had as my secondary. So in this case, it was the M9, which I think was a thing discovered by you, Apache.
It was, thanks, Joe.
Yeah, because I think it was also during the VE grind that came up with the interchanging of, you know, the USP and the, or I'm sorry, the SOCOM and the M9. But I think on the tanker it was something like you end on the USP, so that when you pick up the M9 as Raiden, you could just have an insta equip. Same concept.
Yeah, it was Limes who eventually worked that out, but we were like spending a lot of time talking about it.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I think it was something along the lines of, like, you know, spending hours on something that saves, like, you know, so little to some people, but
Yeah,
it's still significant enough to do it.
If it saves less than a second, I probably had some involvement in finding it.
Alright, once again, using the power of the box so I don't get spotted by that Cypher, just keeping myself low enough to the ground, and not get spotted by that guy. Gonna shoot the wall there to get this guy to stay still while I briefly knock him out and put him to sleep. Alright, now for the first actual boss fight, in quotes, which is going to be up against a bomb. Alright, well, surely this will be a piece of cake. Oh, no, not again. It was a decoy. Yep, you guessed it. It's against Fat Man. Alright, so for marathon purposes, I'm just going to grab this extra set of stuns. I normally wouldn't do this. I'm over here.
Hey, where'd you go?
Yeah, Fat Man missed me for a brief moment. Alright, so I'm just gonna knock him off balance shooting his rollerblades while he's doing what I call the Fat Man Shuffle, where he just kinda goes back and forth, raising his hands up. And then for every time he gets knocked down, I'm just gonna shoot him with the SOCOM 6 times to make him fall down, and then follow up with 2 M9 hits to the head. Which I'm not doing because I'm not doing it fast enough. Okay, that time I got really unlucky with how he fell down, which is probably the thing I despise the most, which is the way he slides down and collides with objects. Okay, I actually lost sight of him for a second. Yeah, one of the things of running this fight on PC is the sound of him roller skating. Sounds like it's everywhere. There's really no like directional location with it, so it makes it really hard to distinguish where he is if you're relying on sound. The same with the Harrier. He sounds like he's everywhere, but thankfully with the Harrier you can actually visually see where he went. With Fat Man, it's kind of a guessing game if he goes off the screen. But more or less, that was Fat Man. And now we're going to be tasked with going into the Shell 1 core, thanks to the help of this very special guest, the Ninja. Not the first one from Metal Gear Solid 1, but I don't know, maybe they're just a fan. And he gave us this guard's outfit that you may recognize from the tanker. Except we're not quite complete unless we have the right weapon, which is the AKS-74U. Fortunately, these guys on the perimeter use the different weapon, so we can't borrow it off of them.
Who's that? Enemy sighted. Requesting backup.
Alright, so now what we're going to do is very carefully go along the EF connected bridge once again. Avoid getting spotted by the ciphers, while shooting out that cipher in the corner, aiming at its weak point. I'm going to do a punch-punch-kick combo there on purpose as a buffer so a guard is turned around. Not spot me at the stairwell there. Alright, so we got the AK.
What's going on? Respond.
And now we have everything we need to go into the core. And then this is something I enjoy doing, even though I wouldn't recommend doing this in an actual run.
Got a minute, Jack?
Just telling Rose off. You know, I mean, you get pestered about what day it is today over and over again, and it's like the one moment where you can actually, you know, kind of fight back at Rose.
Yo, what are you doing?
Alright, so we have to get the D mic in order to actually figure out, you know, if, you know, the person is really Ames, even though we know exactly who he looks like just from running the game, but you need the D mic to actually proceed. You know, otherwise, you know, Ames will never spawn and you can't actually continue the game without it either. Also, shoutouts to that guard running around in circles, referencing the Running Man fighting MG2 Solid Snake. Alright, so we're just gonna knock on this wall. punch twice, look around, and then just be like, hey! I'm gonna borrow you to open up the door.
Pattern recognized. You are cleared to enter.
Yeah, unfortunately, Raiden's biometrics won't clear the scanner, so the door won't open. So you just have to borrow one of the guards to do it. Now, enemies could spawn randomly in here because I'm on New Game Plus, like I said before, and lucky me, I got the one that I didn't want, which is the middle of the room. So what I have to do as a backup strat is the D-Mic glitch, where you start off a punch-punch-kick combo, but you equip the D-Mic on the kick while holding first person, and then just spamming the D-Mic so that way the guards won't spot you right away. Also, that was my my late alarm. You may have just heard.
I did wonder. I thought it might be the tech computer, but cool.
No, I actually have the guards line of you know, answer me. You better not be asleep. Wake up. As my phone's wake up alarm.
That's a good one.
Alright, so we're gonna throw a chap there, disable the cameras, and then exit before they ever knew I was there. Okay, very carefully lock onto that cipher. And then we're gonna cartwheel all the way across, shoot out the other two. And then we're back at start off again, except this time we're getting the PSG-1 sniper rifle, which we need to take out one of the ciphers in the Show 1-2 connecting bridge.
What's going on? Respond.
Huh? It's him. Everyone, stay on guard.
Understood. Reinforcements are on the way to...
I need some...
Alright, and then we're just on our way to Strut D. And then we're gonna equip the box here so I don't get spotted by the guards in the middle. And then you notice I'm keeping the BDU on even though I don't have the full disguise effect anymore. The BDU, even without the headpiece, actually provides some indirect camouflage from a distance. You won't get spotted right away. Which is very helpful for that section between Strut D and Strut E, but as well as other areas of the game. And of course, they gotta make life difficult by planting, yep, more bombs. The amount that you have to take out varies by difficulty, which on European Extreme, we have to destroy all of them. Just gonna carefully take out the sensors. Gonna swap to the sniper for the rest. Okay, we're gonna take out that one. That, whoop. Alright, well, I was a little bit slow on that other one, but you have to be very careful not to shoot the ciphers directly. At least not without shooting the sensors first, otherwise, kaboom. Alright, now we're up against the Harrier, which I'm gonna try to go for a 5-hit setup real quick. Oh, no way. Yeah, I didn't think so. That's okay. You want to try to go for a high damage setup at the beginning so you can get into phase 2 a little bit faster, so I'm just gonna have to play a little bit of catch up with damage. Okay, I think I got it. Drop down here, look up into the sky. Cancel out part of that cutscene so I can get 1, 2 follow-up hits. Okay, there he is.
You go out in style.
And then when he does the missile lock on, and you take cover behind one of the, I don't know what you call these, but if you look up as he's flying over, you can actually get a hit in without worrying about getting hit yourself in the process.
Try dodging this.
And what I'm doing here is just firing off at the SOCOM, because every time you peek, it gives you iframes, which is important to do that so you don't die from the missile barrage spam. Oh wow, I actually got him.
Really clean fight.
Yeah, other than not getting the 5-hit setup, yeah, that was actually really good. Anytime you get him during the hovering is ideal. Normally, you don't want him to fly away and then have to, you know, wait for him to come back and then just lose even more time. Alright, so we're using the BDU again, like I was talking about, even though I don't have the headpiece. It's critical for getting this through this area without being spotted by these two guys here.
This is not a pretty sight. Hurry up and check the situation.
Yeah, don't mind me, fellas, just shimmying over and then going up the ladder. Alright, so I'm gonna cartwheel 1, 2, cancel that, knock on the wall so that guy doesn't spot me. Also avoid the quote-unquote D-Lime special, not falling into the water while trying to go into cover. It's something I think most, if not everybody, has done at some point running this game, including myself.
I've definitely done it.
No, I'm going to go in my pants. Nobody's looking, right?
Yeah, that guard up there didn't go before the stream today, so unlucky him.
Mind if I sneak in real quick here, Joe?
Yep, go for it.
So Felix Ratstar donated $10. They said, "Good luck, guys. All the best. Thank you so much." And UnderwaterSmoking resubscribe with Pine. Thank you so much, UnderwaterSmoking. So just to reiterate, all subs, bits, donations to the channel, everything's going to support UnderwaterSmoking during the event this weekend. And thank you, everyone. It's been amazing so far.
Yeah, thanks for, you know, like I said at the beginning, thanks for putting on this thing for all those involved, and, you know, as well as thanks to all the people tuning in throughout this event. Alright, so we arrived in Shell 2, where we're tasked with rescuing President Johnson, which is guarded by an electric floor panel, which has a power box inside the room. So we have to get the Nikita missile launcher, which its location varies by difficulty, aka they just put it further in here, the higher the difficulty, so we gotta grab it right here, turn around, and avoid the mines. Because on this difficulty, you touch it, you guessed it, you're dead. Which again is something I think most, if not everybody, has done at some point in running this game, including myself, and it's not something I'm particularly happy about, but it does happen. Alright, so I'm gonna give this guy a wake-up call that I should have gotten today. You know, because somehow President Johnson sleeps while standing up, something I could never do, so that is very impressive by Johnson. We're just gonna navigate the ventilation ducts.
What are you doing?
And just blow up the box. All right, I can actually relax for a little bit because we're just skipping a bunch of codecs. Yeah, that's the thing about running MGS2 on PC, because there are no loads. You know, you're constantly on the move. Even like when transitioning from one strut to the other, I mean, there's hardly any time to kind of relax. So it's areas like this, it's actually kind of like a nice breather. Also, he took those photos. Or did he really?
Forget it.
Yeah, I guess Snake was a little bit touchy that I questioned whether or not he actually took those photos. But fun fact, he sort of did take those photos, but not the way that he said that he took them. Alright, so coming up is going to be the swim glitch, where you can swim out of bounds and get to vamp a little bit faster. It's sort of a gamble when you do it, because like most other things, the longer it takes you to do something, the more time you're losing, especially with the swim glitch. So what we're going to do is swim right here, match the ceiling height, turn around, then we're going to swim against this wall on an angle. Try to maintain it, and holy shit, dude. One cycle in a marathon? Let's go.
Yeah, so clean.
Man, I wish I could do that in my runs. I mean, I'm lucky just to get a 2 cycle.
If there ever was a day to do it, it's today.
Alright, so we just swam into Vamp. Also, because we're doing this for a marathon, I'm just gonna go full speed ahead with the risky setup. Gonna coolant rise in front of Vamp, so I can get a little bit of an earlier start on the punching. While avoiding his knife, because it is a one-shot kill if you get hit. Actually kind of in a really nasty spot, so I'm just gonna slow it down a little bit. And then kick him in the water.
That was so clean, Joe. That was so awesome.
Yeah, Vamp is probably one of the fights I often get punished with the most because I play it very aggressive with the punching. I try to go for like a maximum of like 9 hits, which is very, very dangerous because you're punching on a set of frames where Vamp is gonna be knifing again, and you just have to be very conscientious of, you know, avoiding it. You can go up to even higher, but, you know, at that point, it's basically suicidal, because you're end up gonna get hit, you know, the more time you're close to him. And what basically happened is every time you're close by to Vamp when he's standing on the platform with you is he's gonna be scripted to knife, and then when you evade and then go within that proximity again, he just continuously tries to knife. So that's what that exploit does for you, is just, you know, rinse and repeating it. Alright, so we got Emma Emmerich now, and we're just gonna leave her and go into the next room, because you don't actually have to drag her in there.
Raiden, what's your status?
Colonel, I've got Emma Emmerich here. We've managed to avoid drowning.
Good job.
I just wanted to play that. It's such an accomplishment to make it over here without drowning. It's like one of those moments where Raiden is just like so proud of himself. It's like, wow, Raiden, thanks for doing what you were supposed to do. Yeah, I guess Raiden wasn't happy that I said that, but... so part of the reason why the swim glitch is important is because you have to open this door. Because when you swim glitch, the game doesn't know that you opened it yet. You know, so while you gain time up front, you lose about... I think it's like 5 to 6 seconds on the return trip. To open that watertight sealed door. You know, so the earlier that you get the swim glitch, you're still netting time gain, but it's the longer that you take is, like I said, is where you're actually losing time, including having to open the door on the way back. don't worry, Emma's fine. Yeah, you only have to surface for air once just to grab the PSG-1T, which is the tranquilizer version of the sniper rifle. Oh yeah, and the sea lice, yeah, don't worry about that. We're just gonna drag her across. Alright, so now what I'm gonna be doing is what we call the Emma zip. Where I'm just gonna grab Emma, line her up in the corner, and I'm just gonna tap her into the corner. Hopefully I get her out of bounds quickly. There we go. Yeah, it may look like I just pushed her into oblivion, but I assure you she will return. The Emma zip was discovered by Miss Chelsea during a run of hers where she just accidentally pushed Emma into this sidewall here, actually, where she did it. And for some reason, it just pushes Emma's out of bounds, and look, there she is. So it spawns her back into the nearest exit, which conveniently is right here, as I just bump her through. And then doing the Emma bump will just put her at the end of this hallway here, rather than having to drag her by the hand all the way through. It's just a little bit faster. Although, big disclaimer when you do the Emma bump, and I will say this because I have gotten burned by it way too many times. Don't do the Emma bump on HD Collection on console. Don't even think about doing it. Don't even do it. Because on HD Collection, for some reason, if you try to do the Emma bump, like I just did, there is a chance that depending on how you do it, Emma will just fold through the floor into the next room, into the ocean, and guess what? Your game is soft-locked. Also, shoutouts to this guard up here. It's getting those steps in. Yeah, so if you're ever wondering why the detection music continuously plays, it's because of that guy. He is leaned up against the railing normally with a set of binoculars, and when the chaff goes off, as you're spotted, and he tries to run, he gets stuck. He can't go anywhere. Alright, now begins the longest auto-scroller, with some things to do, but still an auto-scroller nonetheless, which is the sniping section. If anyone can find a skip for this, please, please find it. We would love to find a way to skip it. Doesn't matter what difficulty it is, just makes life easier and make the run a whole lot faster. So I'm gonna shoot out those mines while tranking both of these sentries in advance. Also taking out these ciphers ahead of time. Now you'll notice that I'm staying on this side of the platform here at the beginning, because for some reason, if you're close to the water bridge that Emma's on at the beginning and you scope in with the sniper and zoom in, there's a chance that Emma can fall over and lose her balance. It loses you about 6 seconds each time it happens, so one way we can avoid this is just by staying away from that spot and just not zooming in with the sniper unless if we absolutely have to. And only going over here to just collect more ammo from the PSG-1. Oh yeah, speaking of, I gotta position myself here so I can start shooting out these mines here on the other end of the bridge. Now there's 6 of these on European Extreme, including this one right here, almost blocked by that seagull. Don't worry, I'll get him next time. Yeah, I have a bad history when it comes to the seagulls in this game, where they just love blocking my shots at the worst times. Not here specifically, but the Shell 1-2 connecting bridge before the Harrier. For those that remember, every time I try to shoot a sensor and a seagull just comes in and be like, no, don't shoot that poor Cypher. Alright, so as long as you're standing over the ammo box, it'll just continuously respawn on top of where you are, so you don't have to readjust to collect it each time, like I just did. Yeah, now we can chill for a little bit. How we doing, Apache?
I'm absolutely wonderful, my friend. How are you doing?
You know, I think I'm actually awake now. I mean, if I'm not, I don't know if I wouldn't be, you know, considering how my day started today.
A little late start, but we're all here. We're all doing good. I haven't given a shout out to the tech, by the way. Limes is actually running tech in the background on his computer from home, and it's been probably the smoothest tech we've had as far as Limeade's gone. And I believe it was Carriggs who's also helping with tech, who set up like the RTMP for us. So shout out Carriggs as well.
Yeah, also shout outs to Carriggs for doing my tech setup before this. Yeah, try as you might, you can't actually climb up this ladder. I don't know, I feel like they kind of tease you with it being here. Like it wants to make you climb it to have a higher vantage point, but if you answer the codec, you just get yelled at by the colonel for saying, "Where do you think you're going?" Well, to Limeade 3.0, obviously. I mean, where else would I be going? Alright, I'm just waiting for Emma to climb on the second platform there so I can shrink that last guard. And then get ready for the last leg of a sniping auto-scroller. See if I can line up on the ladder before I get the codec. There we go.
This is Snake. Can you hear me?
Definitely not.
Shocker, it actually was Snake this entire time. You know, just to kind of put it to rest on, if it was just a coincidence or if it really was him.
Phew. All right. Do I need to clear things with Otacon before I ask her?
Not at all.
All right. Phew.
Okay, unfortunately I can't hear him ask it a second time because we gotta get ready. Alright, so I'm just gonna collect the ammo again, aim at his knee, and fire away. Yep, that was Vamp.
Close one, close fight.
Yeah, Vamp's legs won't move when you hit him, and he has no cooldown, so you can just fire as many rounds as you have, so we just spam at his legs. Because every time you hit him in the head, he shifts his body over slightly, so it makes it very aggravating trying to, you know, rapid fire it. Alright, so we gotta race back to Shell 1 first floor. Also, shoutouts to that guard for being the only one left when the other ones reported to Arsenal gear. Alright, so the panels that were missing when you left, when you know, rendezvoused with Ames, they remain that way when you come back here, so you have to be very mindful of how you approach the bridge on your return, because I have lost the big boss rank by not paying attention and then just falling right through one of the missing gaps in the bridge, you know, when cartwheeling. So you just have to be, you know, slow and steady, but just, you know, be mindful of where you cartwheel. I'm glad Raiden agrees with me on that one.
It's been a while, hasn't it? Jack the Ripper.
I get here. Are we in Shadow Moses?
You know this fellow? You remember me, don't you? You've grown.
Oh, I don't like where this is going.
High concentration of cerebral implants. Have they altered your memory, too?
Alright, so long story short, we were used as bait so Snake can gain access to Arsenal gear, which also technically in Arsenal gear, just in the medical room that's recreated from Shadow Moses.
Listen, I'll free you in a
And the so-called ninja, the one that was the fan of the original ninja in MGS1 was really Olga, who was also using it as a cover. And instead of waiting for Rose to call, we're just going to call her while skipping through all the text. And, you know, this is one of those things where they literally take the clothes off your back. And I mean, everything. So we're going to answer this codec as soon as you load into Arsenal Gear Jujin, which is very important. Otherwise, this guard right here will spot you. Advanced gear, by the way. Yeah, for all the advanced outfits that Tengus have, they just can't see from very far away. I'm just gonna go underneath this camera's blind spot, go across the bridge before it turns, make that gap, which thank God I did, because it is very miserable to have to make your way back up if you fall through. There is a way to do it, but it is very scary if you have to.
It's a cursed gap.
It is. I mean, just like everything else, everyone has fallen through at some point running this game. Also, we got a special message from the Colonel.
I hear it's amazing when the famous purple stuffed worm in Flapjaw space with the tuning fork does a raw blink on Harry Carey Rock. I need scissors. 61.
Yep, Limeade 3.0 is brought to you by Scissors61. If you know where they are, the Colonel's looking for them. Alright, so we're just waiting for Rose to call in this time. You can't call her like we did in the medical room. So this is just one of those areas where you have to wait. Alright, so we got a blade. We're just gonna stab with it as our quote-unquote practice, where we're just basically waiting for 45 seconds until we can actually leave while we just kind of stay here and stare at Snake. Ah, who am I kidding? We could do a lot more than that.
It's like
the wonders of Turbo. What was that?
It looks like he's printing out a document.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like he's printing something, but I assure you, he's practicing.
Exactly.
Alright, Tengu 1. Oh man, I have a really bad history with this place, even yesterday when I was trying to get a run. So this is why I grabbed the extra stunts from the Fat Man fight earlier.
Don't push yourself.
What? Okay.
Are you all right?
I don't know why I just insta-died. Alright, so we'll try that again. Yeah, so I guess apparently even with the body armor on, there are places where you can get hit that'll still do full damage. So unlucky me.
Yeah, that was really strange. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
I mean, it's happened to me before, but it's rare. That right there, what was supposed to happen, where you just use the stuns to clear your path to the door and then punch, punch, kick while lined up against it. Alright, Snake, I got it from here, so I'm gonna put him to sleep, stand right here, let these Tengus kind of file in while I use the ultimate weapon, the coolant spray.
Now this is gaming.
I mean, what could be better than just holding up a bunch of advanced soldiers and just spraying them?
Advanced soldiers equipped with machine guns and swords, but you have a bottle of Febreze.
So what I'm doing here is just buying enough time to keep these guys preoccupied with the coolant spray, and then after that time is up, I'm just gonna either punch, kick, or just cartwheel into them. So this encounter will end.
According to the chat, Choke Skip is dead. Crab emoji.
Yeah, I could confirm that it is dead. Okay, so for marathon safety, I'm just gonna wait a little bit longer and then I'm gonna kick him. Okay, that was actually funny how two of them went over and then I got kicked. Like his
That was so
punishment.
dangerous. That was so dangerous.
From GW. Not a bad idea, though. Using fire to fight fire, creating the perfect assassin to retire Solid Snake's brother. S3 stands for Solid
Right, I'm just
Snake's
clearing that out of my
Fruition.
inventory.
It's a development program to artificially reproduce Solid Snake, the perfect warrior. The result is a Foxhound Commando. When Foxhound no longer exists, a simulated Solid Snake shaped by VR regimen. Sound like someone you know, Jack?
So I did unfortunately die in Tingle 1 the way I did. This has actually been a really smooth run. Unfortunately, I did lose the big boss rank to that death, but I had so much trouble with Tingu 1 yesterday on the, you know, my last attempt. So, thankfully on the second try I was able to get it.
As bait. Jack, those days during the Civil War were as real as they come. Every day was absolute.
Solidus going through his moment while I just do poses.
You ran from it. And now you've been led back to war by something less than real.
Oh boy, the rays. So, I'm gonna go through a series of attacking the rays at the beginning, going middle, right, left, while aiming at its leg, and then the mouth when it opens for full damage. And then on the last round, I'm gonna hit the last ray in the head. While the second ray, I'm gonna hit it while its mouth is closed. Avoid the water jet cannon. And when the first ray is gone, I'm gonna take out the second one. Let the third one jump on stage. Do the same thing when the other one jumps off. I'm just gonna get closer to the corner where the ammo is. Take out the third ray, and then this really starts. So that ray's gonna jump up, I'm gonna attack it, hit the other ray, hit the one on stage again. So yeah, I might be able to get it up fast enough. Okay, unfortunately I wasn't, but that's okay. I was hoping to get that ray out before he would jump up, you know, just to kind of make them file in the way I want them to. So this will just be a little bit of a scuffed ray loop until I clear them out properly. Still getting it where they're jumping in from the other way. Not the end of the world, it's just going to make this a little more complicated ray loop than what it's supposed to be. Okay, now I think I have it. Once that ray jumps up, then all the other rays that are left are gonna file in what we call as the ray loop. So what happens is when one ray is destroyed, the next ray that's kind of waiting in the wings will jump up. And then the one that's behind it will also kind of like jump in place like that one just did just now. Alright, so as I destroy one ray, I'm dealing damage to another ray that's outside the perimeter. And then as the other ray that's destroyed is kind of shuffling around to jump off stage, I'm dealing damage to the rays that are outside of it. And then I just come in to collect ammo while the next ray jumps up. New ray comes in. I destroy the other ray that I was dealing damage to before. And you rinse and repeat this until it's over. You have to fight through a damage equivalent of knocking out 20 rays. The last set of rays can be spread out in damage dealt, so it's not like you have to defeat a number of them, you know, specifically. Okay, unfortunately that ray got away from me, so not a big deal. When you lose the ray loop, you can reacquire it. It's just a little bit of extra work to get it back. Yeah. Got a little bit close there. Oh wow, nice shot at that ray right there. That was not intended. Okay, now I have the ray loop back where I got this ray to jump up instead of the other one. How do you know when the next ray is due up is based on their HP. So the one with the lowest HP will be the one that will jump up next. And we use this knowing that behavior to our advantage with what is hopefully the ray loop, which I'm unfortunately not getting, you know, because I was not having them dealt damage at the right time. Sometimes I'll miss the ray by not hitting them in the leg at the right time, or I hit the wrong leg, as I call it, where you hit the back side of the leg and it makes them turn the wrong way and then you can't hit them at all. Alright, so that ray is going to jump up, destroy it basically, but he'll still jump up because of the way he was set up in the queue. And that was the race. So it's a little bit of a messy reloop, but still decent.
GW, the Arsenal AI is corrupted beyond repair. I admit that I underestimated you.
Yeah, this right here is why we want Turbo.
I'll squeeze the answers out of you instead, my son.
Because mashing this for 50 seconds is not fun.
My wrist starts hurting when I think about it. Oh my god.
I mean, isn't this what Saldus is thinking at this time as he's, like, choking me for so long?
Thanks, Joe. Keep the meme alive and all that.
What do you hope to hear? You know he doesn't know anything.
It's not him.
If only Assault would have warned him about auto fire, instead of just watching him do that endlessly for nearly a minute.
Raiden, are you receiving? We're still here.
Yep, just in case you guys missed the wacky AI Colonel in Arsenal gear, he's still here. And Raiden is unusually happy about that. Maybe he was just awe-stricken by the Scissor 61 codec he heard earlier.
Exactly.
Alright, now for Solidus fight. Gonna hit him while he's gonna block it. He's gonna auto kick. Hit him 3 times. Hit him on his right side so he can see and block it. And then I'm gonna move over to his left side where he has the eye patch now because his eye got shot out during the Harrier fight. And we basically do this for the entirety of the fight as long as I can. It is a little bit finicky at times because of the camera. For example, depending on where you have him on the rooftop of Federal Hall, it can make it really complicated to move right in the right spot to hit him on his blind spot. And I'm gonna do this until I get to around like 50%, so I can set up into phase 2. Alright, so right here, I'm gonna hit him. Okay, I didn't get it the way I wanted it, but that's alright.
Good work, Jack.
So if you do that transition just right and get far enough away, he'll shorten his zip instead of going all the way across. Yeah, there is very gutsy, what I call the parry. It's what was done during the MGS2 VE League a long time ago, for those that remember, where you can actually swing your blade at Solidus when he's trying to charge into you, and if you do it at the right time, you can get either a successful hit, a stagger, or in this case, he just blocks it. See, there's a stagger. I guess Solidus overheard me talking about it. I mean, I didn't want to get kicked. This is the example of where I hate the camera. Especially when I push him into this corner. You know, it just makes it very awkward to move around.
You just parried with like the worst camera angle of all time. That was amazing.
I know, dude. I think it was just muscle memory that took over. I just went out of that corner. I was gonna try to end it with a parry, but he wasn't cooperating, so that's time.
Exceptional run, Joe. That was absolutely awesome way to start the marathon. Thanks so much for running.
Of course.
Of course, if you've got your words, please say them now.
I remember now.
Thank you all for having me. Sorry I lost the big boss rank to Tango once, but such is life. It's one of the worst places of the run for me personally. But otherwise, I had a blast getting to open for a marathon, which is something I don't normally get to do, especially for a good cause, for UnderwaterSmoking and his family. And of course, Patchy, thank you for acting as the host, donation reader, and, you know, lifelong co-commentator.
Yeah,
always a pleasure. And of course, thanks to all the viewers watching this at home or wherever you are in the world. And you know, there's plenty more to come. Hopefully, this will be a great start to that. And enjoy the rest of your day with Limeade 3.0.
What kind of
Thanks so much, Joe. That was an incredible run, and yeah, we'd always have you to open a marathon. You always put the work in, and came 2 minutes just before we started, so that's like a man after my own heart. I do things like that as well. Next up, guys, we do have Half-Baked Snake running Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, the 1999 version, and that's any % heavy rebirth. What is that? Stay tuned, and I'm sure he'll tell you.